Hi Virgo, welcome to your July 2021 Astro Update. It's Raina here. So as the month begins, we have your ruler Mercury coming out of its shadow. This will be finalized, it'll be in the books for this Mercury retrograde in the second week of the month. Uh, Curious how yours went. Mine was from hell. Well, I'm exaggerating, but no, I mean, was kept from doing a lot for a few weeks because I had, stopped up ears, and I think I commented, in one of my videos, the few videos that I did when I started to hear a little bit better, and I thought, well, duh, that's communication, and you have to go inward. And it was a very weird situation because usually for me, it's just something that happens when my ears, if I go swimming and there's water. This was just on its own. And it took several weeks to clear. It was very gradual. And I helped it along, putting things in my ear. But the point is that I had to really tune into myself. And it does make you feel, discombobulated. So when you may actually be feeling this in a certain way, Virgo, because um, the sun is going to go into your 12th house, and that's going to be your hibernation time. I'll get to that in a minute, but I just wanted to note that it's when you're talking about predictions, it is so difficult to really understand the magnitude of what can happen that can be filed under a certain uh, category of transit. It's just amazing. But when I really thought about it, I was like, yeah, that is a perfect example of Mercury retrograde. So you have Venus in Leo as the month begins, and this Leo for you is that 12th house where the sun is going to go. Now, Venus in the 12th can be some kind of secret love that is going on. Now, of course, we always think of cheating and things like that, but it doesn't have to be that. It can simply be that you are perhaps keeping a relationship under wraps. The 12th house can be past lives. Maybe you've met somebody that feels really, really familiar to you, and you feel like maybe we've known each other before. So this could be somebody that is a very significant relationship if you meet them, you happen to meet them in this time frame. On the 9th, the new moon is at 18 degrees of Cancer, and Cancer is your 11th house of hopes and wishes. This is also a house of social activity, as it is your friendships, the groups that you belong to. And the new moon here could indicate that you're going to be making new friends or joining new groups. And there might be other things that are contributing to that. So you did have a solar eclipse in your 10th house of career back in June. And that may have set off the need, for instance, to network, especially if that's in your job description. So that might be what, exactly what you're doing that has to do with touching base with different groups. One thing to note, though, with Venus in the 12th, and that is very mystical and spiritual, and the 11th house is more like the secular version of that. It's a humanitarian area. So when you have a new moon here, there could be some kind of a dream, and long range goals is the 11th house that has that tie to spirituality. So I know this is kind of out in left field, but like if you like have always wanted to start some kind of intentional community, which is another word for a commune, or that just sounds, I think that's why they call them intentional communities. It sounds less hippie-ish. Not that there's anything wrong with being a hippie, but just so, but with a spiritual community, that might even be like a live-in community, utopian community. I don't know. That is pretty in left field. Um, but you might just be making new friends, okay? On the 11th, Mercury goes into Cancer, so your ruler goes into this idealistic humanitarian house. The 11th house is connected with technology, especially the internet, because that's how the collective communicates. So definitely this could be very tech oriented, internet based. If you are launching a website, setting one up, or communicating with people online, maybe that is what the new moon was representing in the first place. Is like you're launching a website and now, or starting a YouTube channel, and you're now starting to communicate with the public electronically. This could simply be calling your friends more, getting in touch with them more. On the 21st, Venus goes into Virgo, your sign, and that is always nice, having Venus in the first house. Uh, I don't know that I've got this. I was going to say a voice in my head, but I don't know if that's going to come out right. But I sometimes I've said, I don't know if I've said it to Virgo, but I've said that sometimes these things pop into my head, and I don't necessarily feel that I'm thinking these thoughts. But if I have a spirit guide that's kind of naughty, someone I it said, a voice came in, not a voice, but a thought came into my head that said beer goggles. For Venus in the first house. But anyway, yeah, so this can be, a great time for you to attract good things to you, and to have other people look at you in a way that is very favorable. And I'm not just talking about literally looking at you, although you may want to do something to beautify your appearance at this time. It could be as simple as getting a haircut or something like that. But I would say if that's the case, it would be like doing something that will change how you look, improve your looks. Let's put it that way. But just even like on more subtler levels, people could just find themselves drawn to you and want to help you, and that's nice. On the 22nd, the sun goes into that 12th house, that hibernation phase, a month before your solar return. And you may find, even though you've got Mercury in a very social area, that you are retreating, that you are becoming more contemplative, less wanting that outer stimulation. Now, I will say again, because Mercury is your ruler, that it may take about a week to kick in until Mercury goes into that house as well. So I'm not saying everybody's just going to don a monk's robe and check out from society for a month. Although I will say that this could be like a great time for that sort of thing. If, in the Northern Hemisphere, this is the summertime, but wherever you are in the world, I would imagine, I don't know, maybe not, because we're built around that agrarian culture of the planting season. So we tend to think of the summer months as the months that we have off, and the kids are out of school. The vacations are taken a lot of times. Plus the weather if you have an actual winter, you know that the weather is way more conducive for things in summer. But you may have this time for holidays and things like that, and that might be a time where you take that retreat. But if you do, you might really enjoy, especially towards the end of the month, it might be a really great time for taking a silent retreat like Vipassana. I hope I'm saying that properly, which is a 10-day silent retreat. And the reason, and I have never done it, so I can't vouch for it. And you should definitely look into it because it's pretty intense. You know, you want to know what you're getting yourself in for or get yourself into. But the point is that with a Virgo person being ruled by Mercury, you may be somebody who talks to excess, like a Gemini who is also ruled by Mercury. I don't know. I mean, I know Virgo people, and they don't seem like chatterboxes, excessively. But it's kind of nervous energy sometimes, and certainly, I think both of those signs they can live on their nerves sometimes. So I find it very appealing, the idea of a silent retreat, and silent meaning also off of the internet, to just really like recalibrate, tune into finer things, and stop with the excessive chatter. Not only like doing it yourself, but also listening to it. I think that could be a wonderful replenishing situation. So on the 22nd, okay, so I told you about the sun going there. The very next day, there's a full moon at 1 degree of Aquarius. So this for you is the sixth house. Some of you may have it in the fifth house. You're going to have to check your chart for that one. But for those I'll just talk about the sixth house, because this is going to be a blue moon situation where there's another full moon in Aquarius at the last degree on August 22nd. So, and that happens to coincide with the sun going into your sign. So very interesting. But this can be a situation. So you're going to get it sooner or later. I'm just going to talk about the sixth house. And this is an area that has to do with your work and your health. And there can be like, if you decide that you are leaving your job, that might have something to do with a retreat. Maybe you need to find yourself and you're doing some soul searching. Maybe you're just on hiatus. You're being put on furlough. And it's not that you're totally over it, but you're just back and forth. And that might lead you to soul searching, though, too. There could be a revelation, a secret that is revealed in the workplace, and that also can lead you to soul searching. So whether it's with coworkers or whoever, you might be just like, okay, I didn't see that one coming. And just be like, I have to extricate myself from the situation. And, that might be the best thing for you if you've had, problems there before. But this could be like a promotion. And it's so funny because one time somebody wrote to me and said, you said that, either we're going to get divorced or we're going to get married, because it was in the seventh house. And it's like, yeah. It can have, both of those effects depending on who you are in the seventh house. So in the sixth house, it could be like leaving your job or getting a promotion. So on the 27th, Mercury goes into that 12th house. Don't try to be too linear during this time. You may have a hard time articulating things. You may be incredibly psychic, and don't try to intellectualize that. Just be with it. This is the house of the dream state, and so this can be a great transit for analyzing your dreams. Virgos are really great at analyzing things, but you might take it to the next level during this time. On the 28th, Jupiter goes back into Aquarius. So Jupiter is going back into the 6th house. It will go back into your 7th in December in Pisces. Okay, so it's not, we're talking about, but this is a pretty good chunk of time here. And by the way, since it's retrograding, you might get, you might be able to take advantage of missed opportunities that have a work-related theme to them. So that might be nice, something along those lines. And on the 29th, Mars goes into Virgo, into your sign. So here you have both the divine lovers in your first house. Mars gives you a lot of oomph, physical stamina, but also balls. Virgo is a sign, and that includes you, women, gonads, ovaries. So that gives you more of a backbone. I know I'm going to hear it from Virgos. I don't care, Virgo. I have a moon in Virgo, and what? You can't stop me. From when I said you were, I said you were the servant, and I proved myself right. By going online, and the first thing I saw, it took me 2 seconds to see Virgo characterized as a servant. Just because some people are snobby and have inner planets in Leo and want to be the king or queen and not the servant, that's not my problem. But this is actually a great time for physical vitality. And certainly when your sun goes into your sign in August, you will have that in spades. And I'm sure that Virgo will, I'm sorry, I'm sure that Mars will still be in that house at that time. But this can just make you very aggressive. I mean, I should say assertive, because aggression isn't cute. But assertiveness, which can lead you to be quite active. Maybe you're restless. Maybe you want to do things. Initiate. Go for the gold. So definitely do that. I love when Mars is in my sign. My sun sign is Sagittarius. I love having that sense of physicality, or just feeling more energetic. That's always a good thing. Okay, that's what I have for you, Virgo. I hope that you enjoyed this. If you'd like a private reading, please click on the link below, because I have all kinds of permutations, including double readings, which are, financially more, they're a better deal. Let's put it that way. But anyway, have a great month. Take care. Bye.